Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this from XRP Crypto Wolf. Ripple posted a new X banner. What do you think they're trying to tell us about Wall Street and XRP? So there's a lot of speculation going on right now about this banner. I'm going to give you my thoughts. So you see Wall Street. Maybe Ripple's telling us Wall Street is finally entering the game. The bull means we are still in a bull run. A bull run is coming. The clock, maybe it symbolizes that time is running out. Get positioned now. And then you see a receipt, but it's in euros, 1984.10. Is that a price prediction? We really don't know what this banner means. What are your thoughts on it? Put it in the comment section down below. This comes from Vet, the difference between Ripple, XRP, and the XRP ledger. The reason I wanted to mention this is because I see people all the time saying, how do I buy Ripple shares? You're a retail investor. You buy XRP, the cryptocurrency. Ripple is a company that sells software like RippleNet. XRP is the cryptocurrency, and the XRP ledger is the blockchain. XRP is not the blockchain. That's why I always tell you, when tokenized assets come onto the XRP ledger, imagine all of that value and XRP moving that value on a daily basis. XRP is also a bridge currency. It can bridge anything of value. It could even move US dollars in its current form, like fiat money. Raw Paul, the 4-year cycle is now a 5-year cycle. Take a listen.
Why is Bitcoin sort of not wildly off to the races yet? And it's this chart. Bitcoin is basically, this is a detrended Bitcoin. And it's basically the ISM, which is the business cycle. Remember, we've always said it's the business cycle stupid. It is always the business cycle stupid.
So he said this before the crash that we just seen with Bitcoin, where it fell down below 93K. I honestly believe Bitcoin still has that one last move up in it before it comes crashing down. But I'm starting to lose faith in that happening because the narrative is now shifting. Everything seems like it's changing. The 4-year cycle, in my opinion, is over. But I think it's over for Bitcoin. I think it's over for Ethereum. I think we are about to enter a utility cycle or a utility run. Stablecoin liquidity displays clear uptrend. When will Bitcoin price follow? I don't think it's going to follow. I think stablecoins are stealing the show. Because think about it. What do they always tell you about Bitcoin? Sell your US dollars and buy Bitcoin. You got to buy Bitcoin to hedge against the US dollar. But now, because we have stablecoins pegged to the US dollar, we're expanding the dollar out into areas that never even had access to US dollars before. I'm talking about third world countries and so on. Because stablecoins, they opened up the entire globe to the US dollar. And that's why Bitcoin is losing its narrative. You know, it was always about hedging against the dollar, replacing the banks and so on. The banks aren't going anywhere. The US dollar isn't going anywhere. And nobody's in any hurry to start adopting Bitcoin for payments. It's way too slow and way too expensive. Capitulation or rotation. $867 million flees Bitcoin ETFs amid dip below 100K. They even cite the XRP ETF going live. They also cite Solana ETFs. And even the ETH ETFs, they're losing money as well. This space is changing. They're trying to keep the narrative going. The mainstream media news is trying to keep the narrative going, but the narrative is cracking every single day. And what's really going on is money is starting to flow away from Bitcoin into other alternatives. That's why I still believe that the XRP ETFs, they're going to outperform the Bitcoin ETFs in the long run. Goldbug Peter Schiff says Strategy's entire business model is a fraud, and MSTR will eventually go bankrupt. And I think he's right. You know, he's not the first one to say it. Kevin O'Leary said it as well. And they're saying this at a specific time for a reason, in my opinion. Then there's this. Jeffrey Epstein and Bitcoin. Pizza Day is no coincidence. Now they're tying Bitcoin to Pizzagate. We all know what that's about. Enabling child trafficking and so on. Illicit activity. This narrative came out of nowhere, and I think it dropped on purpose at a specific time. Because look at what's going on with Bitcoin right now. The price has been tanking down day after day. I'm starting to believe this cycle might be over for Bitcoin. But I still deep down believe it has one more mega move before the whole thing comes crashing down. Will it hit 200K? I don't think so. Will it hit 150K? There's a possibility of that happening. But the narrative is definitely shifting, and the 4-year cycle is definitely over. This is an incredible statistic from JP Morgan. Younger adults are entering the market earlier. The share of 25-year-olds in 2024 that used investment accounts was 37% versus 6% for 25-year-olds in 2015. I think what's going on is the people are now starting to wake up and realize I got to get invested in something. I can't keep going paycheck to paycheck. I need to make money. So when they have some money left over, they want to invest it in something. And that's why crypto, we see new investors into crypto every single day. And crypto is the greatest chance that you have to break away from the 9-to-5 job, break away from the matrix. Because crypto is a place where you could come in with as little as $10, $20 a week, and all of a sudden, you get life-changing money. You can even get financial freedom if you hold crypto. It's not like the stock market. With the stock market, maybe you get a 5 or 10% move here or there, and that's it. And if you don't have a lot of money in the stock market, you're not going to walk out of the stock market a multi-millionaire. But that can definitely happen in crypto. Maybe it does happen here and there in the stock market, but you got to get very, very lucky for that to happen. But with crypto, if you invest in the right cryptocurrencies, you're not even gambling. You're coming in and you're investing in something that is going to play a very important role in the future. The Internet of Value is absolutely coming. This comes from Diana. Update, Franklin Templeton's XRP ETF goes live tomorrow, and Bitwise is right behind it on November 20th. Like I said, this week's going to be very big for XRP. I can't wait to see how much XRP they end up buying through these ETFs. I think Franklin Templeton is going to have a huge day one. I think the same thing's going to happen with the rest of these as well, after seeing what happened with Canary. And she even says, analysts are already saying EZRP could match or even beat Canary's huge day one volume. simply because big money prefers allocating through a heavyweight like Franklin Templeton. And I agree with that. Franklin Templeton is massive compared to Canary. XRP ETF math leaves only two outcomes, and both are bullish. Chad Steingraber just laid it out as simple as possible. There are only two scenarios now that XRP spot ETFs are launching. One, XRP's price stays where it is, and ETFs absorb the entire circulating supply within 12 months. Two, XRP price rises dramatically and ETFs buy less because it costs more per token. Either ETFs drain the supply or price explodes upward. There is no bearish path in this equation, and I agree with that. I think the ETFs are going to really push the price up, and I think it's going to start to happen very soon. And I just wanted to remind you again, tomorrow is the day that the the Franklin Templeton ETF goes live. And I want to remind you of this as well. Ripple has Tier 1 banks as partners because XRP will be classified as Tier 1 by the BIS. You read that right. XRP will be a Tier 1 asset alongside gold. Most XRP holders are not ready for what is coming for XRP. Once the BIS classifies XRP as a Tier 1 asset, that's it. We are instantly going to see XRP jump in price like never before. It'll be like a flip of the switch moment. And this could come ahead of Basel III in January. There's a chance this could still happen by the end of this year. And I want to remind you of that because this could be a short-term catalyst for this cryptocurrency as well. What I'm telling you is everything going forward is nothing but bullish for XRP. I don't care how you look at it. Anybody wanting to sell now, they're going to have instant regrets once the price breaks out. And that breakout is absolutely coming. I still believe a lot of the money is going to shift from Bitcoin into XRP. I think it's already been happening in the background. You see a lot of these Bitcoin maxis also jumping on board with XRP now. Years ago, they wouldn't even talk about this cryptocurrency, but now they're starting to mention XRP every single time. And I think it's because of two things. One, they're afraid that XRP is going to flip Bitcoin eventually. And two, they have a fear of missing out on something as big as XRP. You look at that XRP chart and it is absolutely astonishing. You look at that and that alone should tell you to buy this asset. Because once it breaks out, I'm telling you, the FOMO is going to be absolutely insane. And until it all happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.